Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello everybody, welcome to the next round of the SimRacing International GT3 Championship Season 11 here from Daytona, and welcome to what is a circuit I'm sure that you'll all see a lot over the coming weeks here on iRacing. This wonderful, wonderful racing track is the obvious place to go racing at this time of year. And with the Daytona 24-hour coming up, iRacing celebrates that in many forms, and so do its leagues and competitions. My name is Chaz Draycott. I'm delighted to be alongside Dara Thacker in the commentary box once again. Dara, we've got about 10 weeks now, mate, where we are side by side for, well, a Wednesday and a Thursday every week. It's going to be a belter, this, isn't it?
Yeah, you can tell I'm being paid well, can't you, to do this 2 times a week. But yeah, looking forward to this one. I mean, I was just saying to you pre-race last night how much I've missed Daytona.
Oh yeah.
And how much I love this circuit, particularly at the end of January when everybody does it all the time and it never gets old. And so I'm delighted here that we're going to get this out of the way early in the season because we've got some good tracks towards the end. But I think with it being the configuration that it is, you often get some quite close racing. So I'm looking forward to something like that tonight.
Yeah, 100%. There should be quite a lot of that, and I'm certainly excited for it as well. This is how the calendar looks for this season. It's a very interesting one all over the globe. We started at the Saxon Ring just last week, and now we move over to Daytona for 2 30-minute races. We then go back over to Europe into Portimao, and then back over to America, to Miami, then back over to Italy for Monza, then back over to America. Then we get a really long flight to Bathurst for 2 30-minute races then we go back to Europe, and we actually stay in Europe. And we are at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit, apparently without the quote-unquote fast chicane. We then go to Misano, a circuit I adore, and then we go to Imola. And just in case you didn't know it was the season finale, that's where we finish things up on the 12th of March. A very international calendar here, Dara, and a lovely mix of American circuits and Europeans, it's safe to say. He's absolutely speechless, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. I'm used to cough, and I've done the age old. I was halfway through a great sentence about how we're not, worrying about air miles at all, and nobody was hearing at all. No. Yeah, it's nice to get a good mix. It's nice to feel like it's a bit of an international championship because we get a real taste of circuits all over the world, and yeah, I think it's nice as well because we don't just get those different, almost continental style circuits. With the differences between European circuits and the likes of VIR. And Daytona, places like Bathurst as well, which really are completely their own cup of tea. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this season unfolds.
Yeah, it should be an absolute corker. We have drivers out in qualifying now then. Still 11 3/4 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Quite a while left of this session. We have drivers all up and down the order setting times. Here is Paul Matthey in the Phoenix Racing Red Porsche making his way down into turn 1. Now, what do you make of some of the sort of problem corners on this circuit here, Dara? I mean, turn 1, International Horseshoe is a bigger challenge than people expect it, but obviously the bus stop as well. Are there any that you really prefer than, well, people usually dislike around this place?
Difficult, isn't it? I mean, there's so many different opinions about this circuit, and all its different parts, isn't there, really? I mean, it is a weirdly put together circuit, isn't it, really, when you think about it? I mean, you've got that long oval section, around much of the lap. You've got the Le Mans chicane, or the bus stop chicane, whatever you want to call it, that breaks that up, but it's not enough of a chicane to actually make a move. If anything, it just prevents racing getting that little bit closer towards turn 1, which itself has, count the amount of racing lines you could take through there. There's so many different ways you could take that corner. And then around much of the in-loop, it does feel quite tight and technical, and it can be tricky. It's where you're going to gain and lose almost all of the time, and it's exactly why you've got 11 drivers within a half a second at the front of the field at the moment.
Yeah, it's ridiculously close. You can see, though, that Denny Plurger doing really well for MJK Sim Racing up there in 3rd position, the highest placed Evo driver by some margin. The Premier drivers then fill all the spots down to 16th place, where James Fraser and Danny Weir are nice and close together. We look here at Dean Sheasby in the Moonshiners Racing Club Corvette. He absolutely dominated back at the Saxon Ring for the 1 hour race there and put in a hell of a drive, taking the race victory. Nobody challenged him all race, basically. 2nd place went to Rob Aston, and then Andrew Larkman finished in 3rd there. None of those 3, well, except for Dean, are actually in the top 3 places at the moment. It was Stuart Rice that took the victory in the Evo class, but at the moment Stuart is down in 51st position in the Aston Martin. No real representative time from him, it's safe to say, but he's still 2.2 seconds off the top spot and running in 17th place in class. Luckily, we have the class positions and things fixed now. Thank you to everybody at SDK that has sorted all of that out. We had issues last time that meant that the class positions and the gains and things weren't working. But yeah, we've got a very interesting mix here of drivers that started off the season well, Dara, but aren't having a great time now. I mean, Chris Petty, he's 11th in class after finishing 3rd in class at Saxon Ring. Yeah,
it just goes to show that you can never really be too safe in a championship like this, and especially in the early stages, because drivers kind of feel their way in, and the Saxon Ring is such again a particular circuit, isn't it? So very much with its own characteristics. Here at Daytona, it's going to be, of course, more dominant on the straight line speed. So those cars that have that little bit more performance in a straight line, they're going to see themselves performing that little bit better, and that choice that the drivers made at the start of the season becomes all the more important. Because, of course, if they do want to change their cars, there's a big, hefty points drop that they'll have to take to do so.
And this man, John Ludbrook, actually pulled over partway through the Saxon Ring because he was getting lapped. He wasn't really getting on with the circuit, and he didn't want to get in anybody's way and ruin anybody's night. He's currently running 4th overall, 3rd in class in this qualifying session. So our fortunes change from week to week. Great to see John set up with at least a good time to begin with, but very, very close throughout. Just over a second separating the top 27 cars, which is remarkable, especially considering it's such a long lap as well. But these are quite long qualifying sessions. You do get 45 minutes to complete. We do also have the addition of driver images here this evening as well. You'll see it with some of them on here if I can find somebody that's got one. Typically I can't find someone with one. It's just brilliant, isn't it? Well, I know Wenman's got one. No? No? Is it not? There we go. Hey, Barry Wenman has his picture in there, and apparently after the drivers decided, it's great, isn't it? It matches the branding and everything. But after the drivers put them all together, they obviously tried to match them up to the team colours as best they could. But apparently it became a bit of a competition then to see who could create the best picture of them in an AI-generated racing outfit. And some of them are absolutely amazing. Clearly there's not one there. Thiago Reiser's got one, I know that much. And he's got this interesting blue Porsche for this week. He did have that gorgeous pink design for the previous season, but this time round, different colour scheme altogether, which is very interesting to see. We've got a number of the Mustangs out there, which is great to have. Steve Hughes in the UKSR Norris machine. And, I mean, well, this thing's the size of Florida, isn't it, to be honest, Dara? Hell of a wagon, though, the Mustang.
Yeah, it's as wide as the Panhandle, that's for sure. And, yeah, it's going to be pretty clear when that's coming up in the rearview mirror, particularly towards turn number 1. We're going to be getting to those top-end speeds. And with the slipstream that we're going to be seeing, there's going to be drivers converging at turn number 1. It is great, really, this circuit. I do think the best thing about it is you get that run to the line at the end of the race. If you have a close finish, you often get 2, maybe even 3 cars that are fighting over thousandths of a second to gain that advantage up towards the line. And when you're not worrying about that, when you just want to another lap going into turn 1, you can play around a little bit with where you want to go on the circuit. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, this one. But I am very much liking those driver profile picks. That's great.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Really, really cool. I just like the added little bit of personalisation it adds to it. You know, you get to see the people that are behind the wheel. I mean, look at the race suits and everything, though. It looks so professional. The guys have really outdone themselves. There's so many through the field. And I particularly love the DXT ones as well, because they match the car and everything. They've really, really nailed it. But the reason that it all disappeared for a minute then was I was just editing slightly the overlay so it automatically comes up. It's not a feature I really ever use in any other championships, so I've got it actually ticked so that the photos don't show up as soon as we go into quote-unquote race mode. So I click that and then it comes back up. So yeah, we should have them. DXT flying formation across the line. We were looking here at Rob Mackay. We'll go back to the class position so you can see Rob is 20th in class. Who's brave enough to wear the number 1 car? It's Danny Weir. Danny, bless him. He was confident after Formula CDM last night, wasn't he? But wearing the number 1 on that Porsche, that puts a target on your back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you can use it, why not, right?
Oh yeah.
Nice to have a number 1 on the car. I've won 1 championship in my life, and it's a friend's F1 league. You can rest assured I use that number 1 the next season.
Were you Ross or Rachel? It's quite an interest. That's a very niche type of Formula One league that based around the Friends sitcom. That's 2 worlds combined there. Wow.
Ironically, Mac LeBlanc wasn't very quick. Anyway, there was it's great to have the number 1 on the car.
Faster than Matthew Perry. What? Oh, it's begun.
We do have fun, don't we?
It might be the last time.
For Danny, I think it's going to be nice to have that 1 on the car. And if anything, yes, I mean, it puts the pressure on him being the number 1. But he owns it. So I guess in a way he can almost take the pressure off of himself because he's earned it once before. He'll want to win again. But he's in a good position to be near the front of that Evo class. And he knows where he can be. And I think that assuredness can help him out a bit. Yeah,
definitely. At the end of the day, like you say, may as well use it. Much like them tyre barriers, I guess. You may as well use them. Who was that going off the track? It doesn't even come up that somebody had gone off the circuit there, actually. Still, we've got a few drivers that did really well back at the Saxon Ring, still far down the order. Andrew Larkman here in the Axis SimSports Z McLaren. I'm never going to say Z, just in case anybody's wondering. And he finished 3rd back at the Saxon Ring. He is 29th in class at the moment and 40th overall. He's not having the best of times, to say the least here. Craig Hewlett has gone fastest in the Porsche, making it, 6 Porsches in the top 9. So it's almost back to the old ways, so to speak, when it was the Porsche Cup. It's lovely to see some more Mercedes in the field, though. I have to say that. I will bang this drum all season, but the Mercedes for me is such a stalwart of GT3 racing that it seemed a massive waste and a bit blasphemic to not have one in previous seasons. You know, we barely had any of them. And now we've got an absolute abundance of them for this coming season, which is great to have. And it's lovely to see such a mix of these cars as well. Matt Stace won livery of the season already by round 1, Daro. When you get a close-up view of this, you'll realise why.
I mean, yeah, I've got... Oh yes, absolutely. That's delightful.
There's the moment. It's great, isn't it? How good is that?
I just want to sit on that bonnet and have some fun. That's all I want to do right now.
It'll be a bit warm.
Well, it might be. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe the roof. That'll be. That's still the same, right?
Depending on your stature, good sir, you might fit into that vent, actually, because it's bloody massive.
Oh. I absolutely will. I am not a big person at all. I've been squeezed into many people's boots, often against my will, but here we are.
You're saying you've got small feet?
Well, I'm just small.
I'm just small.
I'm not a big person. But yeah, that's great. I love when drivers go away, even though there's only a few weeks off, and they make their own liveries and they make new ones, and they always come back with better ones. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's one thing that's always exciting going from season to season is picking new liveries out and figuring out, the new look for certain teams. I mean, the Simcast cars look great this season. David Pilcher here in the BMW. I mean, it doesn't look great from this angle, but no BMW M4 does really, does it? But the livery itself looks absolutely mega. Really sort of dazzle camo design on it. Gotta love it. We've got Matthew Hunter racing for them as well in the Aston Martin, which shares that livery. Looks better even on the Aston, to be fair. We've then got Martin Brandon. Dennis Koller is the only Ferrari in the field, and he has set a time actually, but he's not currently running in the session. So I'm not quite sure what the situation is there. This is subtle, isn't it? The Quatermass Motorsport Mustang. It's, yeah.
I'll tell you, I enjoy this livery purely because I can see it from 3 miles away and I know exactly what's happened. If something's happened in the background and I see some bright green go off the road, I know it's a Quatermass car. So
yes.
I will say it's a good one to recognise.
Yeah.
They've kept it the same for the last couple of years, actually, Quatermass, which is in a way nice because it means that you know what you're looking at. There are some teams that will go away and they'll change it every couple of months, but they'll make, they'll think subtle enough changes that it doesn't really look that much different. But it's then different enough that you completely forget what that's meant to be.
Yeah.
And so I do quite like how they've kept it the same.
Yeah, there's one prime example, and I doubt he'll ever watch this, but there's a lovely, lovely Scottish guy called Rob Sharp who races in a league that I used to run. And over the last sort of 4 years, over every season, he's slightly changed his livery from day one, but you can still tell that it's his branding. And he's done such a great job with the evolution of the different look of this car. I absolutely love it. And yeah, hopefully you can all see him at some point in some league somewhere around the world. Here we go then, the grid for tonight's race. We have Craig Hewlett on pole position with Victor Van Zeist alongside him. Dean Sheesby then lines up alongside the Evo leader, Denny Plurger. Denny is miles ahead of all the other drivers in his class. John Ludbrook is next alongside Robin Pornier. Then it's Simon Clifton and Thomas Weston on the 4th row. Robin Aston then lines up alongside Jan Ostberg. We then have Hardiek and Muntian on the 7th row of the grid. Bostock lines up alongside Hughes on row 8. Then it's Steve Rubino alongside James Fraser, who is the next of the Evo drivers in 18th place. 14 cars between him and his nearest competitor. Danny Weir, well, he technically is the nearest competitor, I suppose, right behind him in 19th. Then it's Vivas in 20th, had a very busy race back at the Saxon Ring. Then it's Hammond alongside Greg, with Miller and Mackay making up the 13th row of the grid. Then we have John Treen alongside Hussein Saraka Desler. Then next to them will be Richard White and Mark Kent. We then have Matt Stace and Jan Nage, with Dave Collier and Nathan Healy, the 2 Irish drivers, sharing a row of the grid. Then it's Hoffman and Chell side by side on the, what would be the 19th row of the grid. Then the 20th row is Jordan Maymar, saying in the chat he doesn't like it here. Don't blame him. Larkman is next up in 40th. Like I said before, Larkman 29th in class after finishing 3rd last time out. Then it is James Pallett and Chris Petty, Pete Piver, and then we have Paul Matthey, the Scottish driver. Then next up it is Mr. Savage, Robert Savage. Stuart Rice joins him on row 23. Then it's Pilcher and McConaughey. And we have Newton and Blackie completing the top 50. Then it is the Phoenix Racing Blue driver, Shane Cotton, just ahead of Matthew Hunter. Martin Brandon and Andrew Fellows complete the grid, with Dennis Koller, Robin Pornier and Graham Vivers actually not taking to the grid for the start of this one. Looks like Mark Kent is also not taking to the grid. Well, I can breathe now, Dara. It's going to be busy this though, isn't it, mate? But with half-hour races on the cards, it might not be too trafficky, let's say.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fast and furious, really, here. I mean, the laps are relatively long in length in terms of time, so we're not going to get too many of them, which means that the overtaking opportunities are going to come few and far between. I often talk about dead time in races like this, where time just evaporates because there's nothing you can do except put your foot down. Happens a lot around here, of course, because we have so many straights. The amount of time that you actually feel like you can do any racing in reduces, and so I think these guys are going to be pretty clean off the line. Yeah,
100%. 2 MJK SimRacing cars near the front of the field as well. Victor Van Zeist in the Premier class, and then, of course, his teammate Denny Plurger in the bright green car in the Evo class. We've been looking at the briefings, and they do not go when the lights go out. Basically, the leader can go whenever he wants, and he does go. And look at that, Victor Van Zijst gets caught out big time. Denny Plurger gets held up as well. Thomas Weston is trying to get through in the middle of all of that. He's bashed into the side of Denny Plurger. The Mercedes is sideways. Jan Östberg, amazing save. I don't know where. I think that was Thiago Reiser. I don't know where Thiago thought he was going to disappear to in a car that big. But everybody, oh no, I was going to say they've kept it together, but there's contact and Muntian is going backwards down the order. He's managed to stay out of the way to one side. Hopefully no further dramas as everyone scoots on past him. But that was very busy for a moment there. But great start by pole sitter Craig Hewlett.
Yeah, he's got away at the front of the field. I don't quite know how Jan Östberg has managed to stay in the top 14, to be honest with you. He was pushed around everywhere momentarily there. 2 by 2 in towards the Western Horseshoe. Bostock there trying to get himself involved. Jan Östberg, there he is, losing out of position. I wonder if he's got damage on that car. He's losing positions hand over fist right now. For everybody really running their way through, you can see he's just not got the confidence in the car that the others seem to, but there's so many cars in the circuit, aren't there? Over 50 of them populating the infield and now the oval section of this circuit, and they are crawling on each other right now.
They're absolutely all over each other. I don't know where that Porsche thinks it's going. Josh Downing was trying to go under the apron. You do get an off track for going down there now as well, which finally, thank you iRacing. I am so glad that people do, because I hate it when people go below the apron, especially at the end of a race to try and take the hero victory, you know what I mean, when they go across the line. Josh Downing has actually got a slowdown penalty that he needs to serve. That's why he's losing places. He's over that curb now through the bus stop as well. Oh, flipping heck, it's like a skate park over there. Andy Chell, there he is, in the Subtle Mustang, has gained 16 positions off the start. He must have had an absolute belter while everyone was losing their heads.
Yeah, just keeping himself nice and calm and away from everybody else, I think, is what's happened for him. We did see a couple of those big moments simply down towards mainly the first of the horseshoes that really did bunch everybody up. Andy to the inside, that's too late. Oh, he's taken one car with him, but he'll make the racing line. It was a very scary moment there for Andy, making so many positions on the start, nearly going backwards himself, nearly 3 wide. Yeah, I tell you, it'd be frantic at the start.
He did, yeah. We had Barry Wenman and Victor Van Zijst both had slowdown penalties near the beginning of the lap. I wonder whether they went under the apron line at some point and they had to serve that slowly over the rest of it. But 1 lap in the books, and well, a very busy lap indeed. At the very front of the field, though, it is Craig Hewlett that leads the way in the Porsche. Dean Sheesby, who took the win back at the Sachsenring, is in second place, and Victor Van Zijst chasing him down in third position. There's been some dramas further back. Rob Gregg is off the road, and I think the car is done for. Now he is coming back onto the track, which is good to see. But there's been a drama down there. Andre Munti and Matt Stace all involved. Let's see, Dara. Oh!
Here's Andre Munti. Already had some issues. There were a couple of cars already off. That is Pilcher finding the grass on the outside of the Porsche. But goodness me. And really coming in very hot as they come in towards the dog leg. Here's Matt Stace in that wondrous livery car as a car stopped on the outside there. A lot happening there and almost somehow nothing happening. This will get a better victory.
Oh. So they were side by side out of the hairpin. Pilcher was stuck in the middle, didn't really have anywhere to go, and Matt Stace just caught the side of him. And that was all really that he could do. And then Rob Gregg was already off the track at this point. So sorry, we are going to go back and look at this again. From Rob Gregg's perspective, he's side by side with his teammate of all people. Is he just going to clip the curb, trying to stay to the inside and lose it? Yeah, whoa, that's a big off. Oh, that is a massive, massive hit. Fun fact, actually, in an endurance race I ran in another league elsewhere previously, somebody actually went off that far there. They went into all of the motorhomes in the background and ended up in between them all and having a barbecue. We've had an issue for Dean Sheesby. Dean Sheesby has dropped down the order and then suddenly gone back up to the top. Potential connection issue? Or is that due to there being so many cars on track that now they're spreading out when they're at one side of the circuit to the other? My PC is having a fit. Probably the latter.
Yeah, very possibly. There's so many cars just everywhere that it's difficult for anybody to keep up, let alone a nice bit of tech. And tech never goes wrong, does it? It always gives us exactly what we want from it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'd be surprised if it was the PC, but you never do know. James Bostock there, looking resplendent in his driver picture. I think You know, I
Careful.
getting his good book out. But he's doing well at the moment. Towards the front of that field, the difficulty for him is going to be with those two Evo drivers in front of him, because you know they're realistically in a completely different race. They're just a barrier up towards the likes of Rubino and Wenman. Oh, there's Rubino going off the road, and here comes James Bostock, past one, past two. This is a great little move from James.
Oh, and look behind him as well. Hardiek, up high, he decides to come back down low. But Denny Plurger has really lost a lot of ground here. He's lost 7 places since the start of this race in that green Porsche. Danny Weir has gained 7 since the start of this race, and now he wants to take the class lead. There's slowdown penalties galore. Hussein Sarakadezla's got one. Rubino's got one through the middle. Oh, that was scary for Danny Weir. He's going for the class lead while all this is going on, trying around the outside of Denny Plurger. Can he make it work? Toby Hardiek's got the front row seat for this battle for the class lead. Great stuff. Whoa, the car off on the right is actually a bit of contact. I don't really think that Plurger left all the room in the world there for Danny, and now he needs to be careful on his inside because Toby Hardiek, he may be in a different class, but he's saying, look, I'm going to ruin your race as well. The Mustang's stuck in the middle. The Porsche's got to come back on at some point, sunshine. Oh, it's a little bit sketchy there, isn't it? A little bit scary, to say the least. He runs wide as well. The Mercedes has to get out of it. Suddenly the Mustang back in on this. Rubino going wide into the hairpin. And out of nowhere, Lewis Hammond in the Mustang trying round the outside. This is fantastic racing. It's like touring cars, this.
Yeah, so many drivers just squashed into one piece of tarmac right now, and the person who's loving this the most is Danny Weir getting away at the front. Steve Norris, good line through. He's going to overtake Rob Mackay as Mackay went wide in that Mercedes car, but now may seem to file out a little bit more. Well, probably not. They're 2x2x2, aren't they? Of course they are. As they make their way down towards the Le Mans chicane. Rubino with a bit of an advantage now over Plurger. Let's see if he can hold on to that, because Plurger will be looking to get back at him. But if anything, I think it might be wise for the Evo driver to just stick behind Steve for the time being and let him drag the rest of the guys up to Danny Weir at the front of the Evo class.
Yeah, that's it. I think Denny needs to just think big picture now and think championship points in his class rather than overall position there. The other driver that was near the front of the class earlier on, just trying to think, who was right near the front after qualifying? It wasn't Pilcher, was it? Because there was 2 of them. I mean, Plurger was at the front and a long way clear of the rest of the Evo drivers. I think it was Jan Nage that was quite high up there as well. He's now running...
Blazer?
Yes it was. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it was James Fraser that was right near the sharp end. He's lost 8 places in class in the Moonshiners Racing Club Porsche. He's also got a slowdown penalty right now, which is not going to make him too happy. The lead of the race, though, Victor van Zeist, stretching his legs in this Porsche, isn't he? Doing a great job right now. He's only gained 1 place so far this race, and he's gained the one that mattered. He's ahead of Dean Sheasby by about 3.5 seconds, who's got Simon Clifton in the Mercedes for company, and then the 2 GPX SimSport Onyx cars, Aston and Ludbrook, trying to chase them down. Lovely flying formation from these pair.
Yeah, and you'd suppose that they kind of work together if it came down to that. Ludbrook and Aston in a good spot to maybe push themselves towards the top 3. Van Zeist doing a great job though. Last time by was a little bit quicker than Dean Sheasby. In fact, he was 3 seconds quicker than Dean Sheasby. I wonder if something's happened between those two, looking at that now. Clifton was a little bit further off the pace than Van Zeist as well. But it was a 47.3 for Victor and a 50.5 for Dean. So clearly something's happened to Dean, because no one else until the top 10 set a slower lap time as that. But he's going to have to gain that time back, and he's definitely lost the slipstream, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe a slowdown penalty or something that meant he had to give a lot of time up. Hopefully none of these guys have to give too much time up, because look at them. Here's the full tilt Lamborghini. Any opportunity to go on board with this thing, let's actually go on board, because it's just such an aggressive noise. The 5.2 litre V10. As I said at the Saxon Ring, the Huracan, even in its Evo form, will soon be no more as it gets replaced by the Lamborghini Temerario coming into 2026. It's a massive shame to see such an iconic GT3 car being retired, but at the end of the day, that's how motorsport goes, that's what happens. Steve Hughes overtaken there by a very opportunistic Jan Nage down in towards turn 1. Only a third of the way through this race so far, Dara, and it is showing no signs of letting off.
Not at all. Not at all. And it looks like it's going to be one of those races that just keeps going throughout until we get towards that final lap or two, really. Particularly for a lot of that field. in which we get so many of those tight battles a little bit further down. Here's goes Palo, the Jerseyman, going in towards turn 1. If he's going to get... Whoa! Hello! That's
Oh
a
my
jump scare
God.
Did we see that on board from James?
What on earth was that? That is a car bouncing off the end of the pit wall, I'm telling you. Contact on the way in. Car spun. Boing. Jesus wept.
What can James do in that situation, Chaz,
Cry.
do you think?
I've got to see that again. That just beggars belief. Like, absolutely beggars belief. That's just unbelievable.
It gets to a stage as well where when you're in that car where James is, you're just watching the car in front. You can't do anything but watch that car in front.
Yeah. So I think this is just one car back. This is Andrew Larkman. So you're going to see this bounce off the wall into this McLaren, and he smashes into the back of it as well. It's just unbelievable. Black and orange flag for Matt Hunter. In fact, actually, yeah, he's having, oh dear, big damage on the Aston Martin. And he's dragging it back. It's still very pretty, but oh yeah, you're not going to get that round there, son. Oh no, not great.
He's still trying to make the corner though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't knock his commitment. It's absolutely colossal. Nothing is going to, as my favourite ever commentator, Charlie Cox, would say, you couldn't kill that thing with a stick. He's really, really cracking on and trying to get it home. Still, let's go back to the front of the order. Dean Sheesby, second place right now, hoping to dethrone Victor Van Zijs, but he's gone another 0.3 of a second quicker on that previous lap, and he just continues to open up that brilliant, brilliant lead. Dean looks back here at Simon Clifton. Robin Aston is next up behind them, but again, the Mercedes and the Corvette that we ride on board with, it seems to be going very quickly because of all the sparks coming off it. Then again, it's probably melting. It's only made of plastic, isn't it? They're actually still getting away from Robin and John in the background. They're going quicker than those guys too. So they are opening up an advantage, sort of working together, this Corvette and Mercedes. Both of them look fantastic, and I mean, you all know by now that's all that matters to me. A car just has to look or sound good, and I like it. But these pair doing enough at the moment to score some big championship points, because let's not forget, it's not all just about the one-hour race tonight. There's 2 half-hour races, so 2 opportunities to score big points. And Danny Weir, well, he's well on his way to doing that, isn't he?
Certainly is. Great position to find yourself in. Don't really want to be giving this one up anytime soon. And yeah, I mean, it's going very well indeed for Danny at the front of the field. It's a perfect start to his evening. We did see the pit stop for Denny Plurger, which has dropped him away, but takes nothing away from the fact that he's got a 13-second advantage. I mean, it's outrageous, really, when you think we've only been going for 13 minutes in this race.
Yeah, second per... Oh, God, something's happening. There's a kick-off here. But yeah, you're absolutely right. A second a minute is not bad as racing terms go. There's Pornier side by side with Blackie. Nearly 1-2-2 against 1-1-2. That's not going to get confusing at all. Both in black and red cars as well. But it's Pornier in the Mercedes down the inside, making that work, trying to stay ahead of the Type 2 Racing McLaren as well. Very, very well done by the Mercedes driver. Good old battle going on there. There's been a drama between Matthew Hunter and Joshua Downing. Hunter had a broken Aston Martin earlier on as well. I think he might just about get one for the second time. Oh, okay. Maybe isolated incidents, it seems. Right in front of race leader Victor Van Zijs, you can just see in the background there.
Yeah, and Victor Van Zijs just getting a little bit of action. Maybe not in his own race, from others' races at least. He's keeping himself involved. Not even halfway through this opening race. Which is crazy, because it feels like it's gone by really slowly, in some weird way. Normally these races go quite quickly at Daytona, but I don't know, we've had so much action yet. It feels like we should have more time off the clock. Dean Sheesby's going to be attacked by Clifton around the outside at turn 1, but Clifton doesn't look too committed to that one. And Sheesby will claim that inside line. Just, again, goes to show the point that you can take so many lines at turn number 1, and all the entries are different. Yeah,
it's a terrifying, terrifying corner, because you're into a curved braking zone from a very high speed part of the circuit, and then you're in a corner that tightens onto the apex, and also you're coming down off the banking as well. It's a place where you really, really need a stable car. I remember the first time I did the Daytona 24 Hours, we were working with the BMW Z4 GT3, and trying to get that thing as stable as possible into there was nightmare fuel. Because the engine was at the front, there was such a forward pendulum effect that it just, as soon as it gripped up with the front, it tried to throw itself around. Then when we did it the following year in the Ferrari, it just had the opposite issue, because it would try and throw the rear around with all the weight being on the rear. It was just horrible. Horrible corner to get right. I just went on board here with John Ludbrook just to show you all that they are actually starting to catch back up now with Simon Clifton and Dean Sheesby, and the gap is getting smaller and smaller because they are just about within slipstream range, and if they stay this close, that effect is only going to get more and more amplified into the second half of this race. But these two Porsches definitely are faster than the cars ahead. There's a big moment there for Sheesby. Sheesby'd lost it, and now Clifton's going to try and come through. I don't know why he's flashing the lights, to be honest. That looked to me like he made it nice and fair. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
There was big contact, but I don't know why Dean's flashing the lights. Simon did nothing. Maybe a bit of net code, I don't know. Strange. Dean's just unhappy about losing the place, I guess. He's very competitive. But we see that, don't we? And it's easy for us to sit up here in the commentary box and say, oh, stop it. Like, why are you flashing your lights? Making yourself look like a buffoon. But at the end of the day, in competition, he may feel that was unnecessary contact. Maybe he thought Simon went too far to the right and biffed him one. But, yeah, we can see the truth from the outside. That was not the case. But now, that Corvette is looking racy. And Dean, he's determined to throw his nose up the inside. And he's done it. Goes sideways. It looks like he's thrown a strop, really, doesn't it? But right now, this is playing into the hands of the two Porsches behind him, because Robin Aston and John Ludbrook, they're going to pick up the pieces if there's an incident here.
Yeah, it's going to be very easy for them to pick a place or two away from these guys if they start to trip over each other. And we're getting to that stage of the race where they very well might, because they're not going to be wanting to give each other too much room the further and further we go on towards the conclusion of this race. I mean, we're lapping at, what, 105 seconds a lap, and we have only got about another 700, so 8 laps, maybe just 7 to go in this one. Not many chances down at turn 1, down into the Le Mans chicane, so lots to be won here. And for John Ludbrook, he's just sitting and waiting. Good exit there from his teammate Robin Aston. He may have to go, maybe even for P2 at turn 1 with that slipstream. Yeah,
we'll have to see. He got a really good run, but I mean, Dean, he compromised himself there. He went down the inside into the bus stop, and I don't know why, because you've got a much better chance at getting the run here down towards turn 1. You can see Robin Aston, he doesn't want to grab too much slipstream off these guys, because look how fast that Porsche is. I mean, it's probably part of the reason it's so successful here at Daytona this week, but wow, it's flying. Keep your eye on Sheesby, down the inside of Clifton, really slides down the inside. The fact he got that stop there and still made the corner was amazing. That was an incredible move. It was very risky, but Dean comes out the hero because it worked this time round. Don't think I'd be too happy if I was Clifton. He gets very close to the back of him. This battle is not over yet. I think this might end in tears.
Yeah, very well might do. With these guys just running around with each other. Victor Van's actually loving this though. He's just running away at the front. Oh, that's Rubino in the wall. He's eating some concrete, that's for sure. I wonder if there was contact there. You can just stamp on the throttle too hard out of turn 1. Oh, that's probably what he's done here. Let's see. In towards the opening corner. Goes very early. Tries to hold it. Doesn't end up doing so.
Oh, but fair play.
Oh yeah, for getting off the race, no, absolutely. But we've definitely seen that one before, haven't we?
Oh yeah, that's a million times over. Every time you come here to Daytona, you're going to see that one. All of this battle in here has meant that Victor Van Zijst has a 7.6 second lead right now. He's absolutely disappeared at the front of the pack. He's having a great time. Good race so far for the likes of Danny Weir. He's gained 12 places. Rob Mackay has gained 15. He's having a good run. The car behind him and in front of him, actually, Hammond and Kostrick have gained 11 each. Nathan Healy has gained 19 in the Lamborghini. John Treen has gained 11. Jan Nage has gained 15. 16 places for Joshua Downing in his Porsche. Biggest mover, well, he was, until Jordan Maymar just got in front, but Chris Petty has gained 20 places. Ryan Blackie's gained 24. So some of these guys having absolute awesome nights so far. Martin Brandon started at the back of the grid in this gorgeous Mercedes. It looks like a massive mackerel, doesn't it? But in that gorgeous colour scheme, he's actually made his way up 19 places and he's still only 34th. That's a little bit defeatist, I know, but you'd be a bit gutted.
Yeah, you wouldn't you? But it just goes to show how big the field is, right? I mean, there's so many cars on the circuit that you could be gaining these. You could gain 25 places and you still wouldn't be halfway through the field. I mean, it's slightly ridiculous. You just have to keep plugging away, and I think when we have these 2 30-minute races, it just goes to show that there's going to be abilities for drivers all the way through the season to maybe qualify poorly in these 2 30-minute race evenings and work their way up through the field over the course of the evening, and that's definitely going to be happening tonight for a few drivers. If they can gain this many spots in race 1, how many can they gain in race 2?
Absolutely. Some brilliant liveries out there, but I have to say Martin Brandon's I think is my very favourite this evening. That massive mackerel Mercedes, I love the look of that. I don't know if it's based on a particularly livery from the past or anything. I don't recognise it, but certainly love that. Big fan. The original Gavlar is saying that's not Lewis Hammond. Where did I say that? Is that not Lewis Hammond? Oh yeah, that's Rob Mackay.
Oh.
That's Rob Mackay's picture. Oh dear, why has he got a picture? I think I might have been testing some of these. Let me just check.
I think we need a DNA test on both of them to see if they are actually related.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob's DXT contract might be getting thrown in the air if I keep showing pictures of him driving a different car. We'll have to see. Let me try and find the images. Maybe it didn't change because I used Rob Mackay's image as the default, so that explains a lot in itself.
It's going to be 10 of them soon. You just didn't realise it yet.
Yeah, I don't have a picture for Monsieur Hammond, so maybe that's just because I was using it, as an example. So, sorry. There we go. He's got more hair now. Right then, back to Simon Clifton in 3rd position. He's still got those pesky Porsches behind him, but to be fair, they're doing the best thing they can do right now, and that's just sitting where they are. They're in a great place now to pick up some big championship points. They don't need to overdo it, and if the 2 cars in front are going to battle, I mean, they've got 8 minutes left to battle and probably trip over each other. So, yeah, they're doing everything by the book right now. Is Robin Aston and John Ludbrook. At the end of the day, Robin Aston finished 2nd at the Saxon Ring, so he's got some big championship points already. He knows he's got his foot in the door with a championship charge. Dean Sheasby is the car that won at the Saxon Ring, so he's the one he's chasing down. All things point towards Rob just sitting where he is and trying to keep it clean.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you can be doing at this stage of the race. It's the smart thing to do. It's the wise move to pole, and we'll see if it works out. I mean, at worst, realistically, you're going to be picking up if you're John, a top 5 position in this race. And at best, maybe even 2nd if the likes of Sheasby, Clifton and Aston start to trip over each other. But you can never really rule out that from happening at all, particularly at Daytona when you can get big moments into the bus stop, big runs out of or towards that line as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on it right towards the line, but we are counting down in terms of laps. I think 7 minutes to go, give or take, across the line means we're going to have, 5 to go here, if maybe 4.
Yeah, not too many at all. Sheasby, using that inside line, still manages to stay in front of the Mercedes as they head in towards turn 1. Simon Clifton tries to get the cutback, but that Corvette just looks so sorted out around that first corner. The Mercedes just can't match it on the exit. Bit of a blink in and out there for Robin Aston. He's now actually looking down the inside of the Mercedes. He's gone deep and there's contact. He was looking at the Porsche behind him. It was very obvious what was going on. Oh, and Sheasby's going to think that Clifton wanted to try and dive and make a move on him, but it was obvious there that he was looking at the car behind, distracted, and just went straight into the Corvette.
And it's happened a couple of times, isn't it, over the course of the race, but it's just too deep. It was never going to work. And, yeah, Clifton, that's chalk and cheese. I think Stewards may have something to say about that coming into the race, but we'll wait and see.
They'll probably try and blame Robin Aston for looking down the inside. How dare you make a move? But no, it was very obvious that Clifton was driving in his mirrors there, broke late, and unfortunately Sheasby is the one that has come off worse there. After, I know I was slating his aggressiveness earlier on, but he didn't deserve that. He did an amazing job at the Saxon Ring. It's interesting to see from a series and entertainment standpoint that he's not invincible. So we've got an interesting championship charge on our hands, which we will have throughout the whole season, I'm told, because let's not forget, with no disrespect to anybody in the B split, I've only ever covered the A split, so apparently I've got a different kettle of fish to work with here, and it's much more open. So I'm excited to see how the season unfolds like that and how the points go, because I mean, we've already seen a couple of drivers that should have been right at the sharp end based on their form at the Sachsenring that are just nowhere to be seen here tonight. So yeah, I'm intrigued. Danny Weir doing a great job in the Evo class, but Jan Nage up to second position. He's gained 5 places in the Evo class. Josh Downing has gained 7 as well in his Porsche, and he's now up into third, hoping for a podium. He is 1.7 seconds clear of Stuart Rice. In fact, actually a little bit more than that, isn't he? Just a little bit further. So he's pretty comfortable. Just needs to be careful now that obviously he's, well, not overdoing it, let's say.
Yeah, you don't want to be overdoing it, particularly at this stage of the race. In the position that you find yourself in, I think Joe Glass is going to be a very happy man with the position that Norwich is in P2, of course, with the Glass Tech Racing banner under on that Mercedes car. So I think a very happy Joe before he heads off on his holiday. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, I think, good performances in this particular heat of the evening where drivers are going to get a big boost of confidence. Maybe the performance we did last week. Lowe's, there's a bit of incidents. White and Treen, isn't it? Treen, I think it is, dropping down a couple of spots, and Healy too. What's happened there for those guys? But yes, performances in this race which are going to give them a confidence boost going to the next couple after maybe a difficult start to the season last week.
Yeah, it's interesting how much of a confidence boost you can have from one race to the next. It's John Treen. Oh. I tell you what, when you look at the size of those two cars next to each other, it's a miracle that Lamborghini can turn that Mustang around, isn't it? It's like a doorstop against a housing estate. Just went in a little bit too late, and fair play to him because he waited. That is great sportsmanship, that by Nathan Healy. That's exactly what we want to see. You know, there will be contact. I'm not saying we want to see contact, but there will be contact. It's motorsport. It's simulated motorsport as well, where there's less risk. You know, it's going to cause contact at points. It's lovely to see that they're selfless enough to wait for the other driver and have, you know, a bit of sportsmanship about it and say, look, I did that. That's my bad. I'll give it you back now. So, yeah, good stuff. Tiago Reiser, by the way, he's been under the radar, the Brazilian driver tonight, which is strange considering he is a Brazilian driving a bright pink car. It's one of the least subtle combinations you can ever have, but right now he is really under the radar, and I don't even think the guys behind have noticed that he's there just yet.
I feel like Tiago's staring into my soul in that photo as well.
Ain't
really?
it just, yeah. I'm falling in love with him.
Yeah. Gonna have to take it off the screen, and I'll get too flustered too quickly. But,
oh, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, he's doing a great job, isn't he? P5, almost quietly going about it. Ludwig was at the back of that train for quite some time, but almost back each other up the back of what they were doing. It's allowed Tiago kind of into that frame as we get in towards the last lap actually, because they'll be throwing the white flag when they hit the line next time by. So it's crunch time for everyone, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. They really have to get moves made now if they're going to do it. Jordan Maymar said he didn't really like it round here, but he's not done a particularly bad job here tonight. He's gained 11 places in class, 21 overall in that god-awful looking BMW, although the livery itself is very pretty, I must say. Great design on that car. He chases down the aforementioned Nathan Healy that we saw earlier on. But onto the final lap then has gone Victor Van Zijst. He has been completely unchallenged throughout this race as Rob Aston now gets past Simon Clifton. The Mercedes finally falls to the Porsche, and they're going to team up on him now. Clifton goes back down the inside. Doesn't work for him there, but actually, you know what? He does get back alongside. Incredible stuff. Robin Aston went really deep into the international horseshoe, and he's lost out. The Mercedes cuts off his nose a little bit. That's quite cheeky by Clifton, but you know what? He's made it work. Fair play to him. What about the cars behind as well? It looks like Ludbrook and Reiser are having their own fight as well, so that might leave Aston here to attack the back of Clifton's Mercedes.
Yeah, if you're not going to be able to get a little bit of a nose alongside into the dog leg, you are going to be behind. So good defence in the end there from Clifton. Excuse me. Aston is going to be trying, isn't he? Ludbrook's going to be willing him all the way, but he's got to be careful of rising behind. And I mean, if it all blows up, Sheesby isn't a million miles away. He's less than 5 seconds off the back of Clifton. If we do see a couple of drivers fall away from the front. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how the exit's going to go for Robin Aston here, because this is crucial as he gets to the line.
Absolutely is. We'll go back on board with him, actually. These terrifying curves. Look at that by Clifton. He carried so much speed through there. He was ultimately confident, and that is just, he's not going to be able to get him from there. But nobody's going to be able to get this man from there either. Victor Van Zeist is going to take the win here at Daytona. What a brilliant, brilliant drive that is to take the first race victory of the night. Second place is going to go the way of Simon Clifton. Very well done to him in that Mercedes. And Robin Aston gets his second podium on the bounce. And what about this man? Hey Dara, that was a hell of a win.
It really was. I mean, the gap that he was able to pull over the rest was imperious. He didn't have to push in that second half of the race. And yet he was still setting 46.1 at the end of the race, which was, quicker than everybody else. Riser on that lap up into 45th and flat, as did Aston and Clifton. So even despite the fact that he was, well out in front, he was still pushing. Just goes to show he's going to be a man difficult to beat, particularly in race 2.
Absolutely. So everyone finishing, crossing the line, getting the race done with, making their way round there in laps. Pretty tidy race, actually. There was a few incidents here and there, a little bit of contact, but you know what? It wasn't too nasty, was it? There wasn't sort of an overwhelming amount of incidents that we sometimes see in GT3 racing. They can be quite tricky cars to master, especially in a bit of a sprint race format as well, where drivers are always so close together. We wait now just for the final few cars to cross the line. Martin Brandon in the big old Mackerel is going to be crossing the line in just a second. Lovely livery on that car. I really do like that. I think the gradient makes it work.
Sorry, I mean, one of those moments were like, do I jump in? Do I jump in? Okay, fine.
I was just in a bit of a trance. Sorry.
Yeah. I do quite like how the dark almost drips down the side, but from the top you can't really tell.
Absolutely.
Quite nice.
Well, Dara and I are just going to take a quick break here, everybody. We're going to be really quick with this one, and then we will get over some results in just a moment's time. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Dara Thacker here for the SimRacing International GT3 Championship. Apologies about that there. Just needed to quickly nip off camera for a moment. Well, off mic for a moment. And we will quickly go over the results from that first race of the night. A very interesting race, to say the least. And it was Victor Van Zijst that took the win. 12.4 seconds clear of Simon Clifton, Robin Aston, John Ludbrook and Thiago Reiser. Dean Sheasby eventually finished in 6th place ahead of Barry Wenman. Very quiet race for him. And the likes of James Bostock. Craig Hewlett did a great job in that one, climbing up the order. Lewis Hammond completed the top 10. We've unfortunately not got long to go. So Dara, take it away with the top 10 in the Evo class, mate.
In the Evo class, it was Danny Weir ahead of Jan Noj by a decent margin, nearly half a minute. Joshua Downing, though, right behind the P2 man. Stuart Rice and Chris Petty inside the top 5. Then we had Matt Stace, Gareth Newton, David Pilcher, Dave Collier and Michael Rhodes. They were the only other drivers within a minute of our race winner, Charles. And there was only 3 more, Greg Cotton and Brandon on the lead lap. Yeah,
it was quite spread out, actually, in the end in the Evo class, wasn't it? Before all that came to a head. But an interesting one with Victor Van Zijst taking his first win of the season. Robin Aston, the only driver... Let me have a look, actually. Yes, the only driver in the entire field that has got more than 1 podium. Basically, Robin Aston was 2nd at the Sachsenring. He finds himself 3rd in the first race at Daytona. Nobody else in the entire field has a 100% podium record so far. Here's the grid then for race 2. Rob Mackay gets reversed onto pole position with Richard White alongside him. Then it's Hardiek and Kostrick on row 2. Hammond and Hewlett on row 3. Or is it Rob Mackay in that car? We'll never know. James Bostock next up alongside Barry Wenman. Then it's Danny Weir alongside Dean Sheasby. I'm intrigued to see those two go head-to-head. Robin Aston is alongside Simon Clifton. Then it's Victor Van Zijst in 15th place after his race win. Then, going down the order, it's the remainder of the field in the same order they finished. It is John Treen next up ahead of Jan Naj. Then it's Joshua Downing in 18th. Hoffman will start in 19th place ahead of Nathan Healy, with the great sportsmanship on show in that previous race. Hopefully he gets a good result to give him a bit of karma for that one. Then it's Rice and Petty side by side ahead of Kent and Vivers. Savage and Pornier alongside each other with Muntian and Stace next up. Then it's Larkman and Newton in 31st and 32nd. Pilcher and Collier start 33rd and 34th. Then it's Greg and Blackie, Cotton and Piver, with Ostberg and Brandon on the 21st row of the grid. Then it's Fraser and Hunter, Fellows and Matthew, and then even behind them there's more Rubino and Chell, Weston and Plurger, Pallett and Jones, Sarika Desler, McConaughey and Dennis Collar, who I believe is not taking to the start of the race. I don't think Tom Weston has either, but I think maybe that's just down to the sim not rendering everyone in. And breathe. Busy first race, Dara. We can expect the same again, can't we? Surely, with a reverse grid as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a lot of action towards the front of the field. You'd expect Rob Mackay to be hanging on for dear life at the front of the field. You've got the likes of Zanzai standing P12, and it's going to be tricky, put it that way, for them to make their way through the field, but at the same time it's going to be tricky to defend at the front when we did see such great pace from the lead drivers in the opening race of the evening. But yeah, this is a great opening 2-30-minute race evening to the season, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see this format make its debut in this season, and we have a variety of different race formats for the season. It keeps alternating back and forth, round after round. It's going to be very exciting. I'm intrigued to see what Rob Mackay can do from pole position, though. He's got Richard White just next to him in that lovely UKSR Porsche. Let's have a look, shall we? Look at the McLaren holding back, actually. Scott Kostrick on the outside, wanting to take advantage. Rob can go whenever he wants, and he's caught them all off guard again. The pole sitter gets a great advantage off the line, and down towards turn 1, he's going to easily lead it. In fact, actually, Richard White loses out to Toby Hardiek down the inside. Let's keep an eye on the field, see how everybody gets on. It looks all tidy, doesn't it? So far, so smooth. 3 wide in the middle there, actually, is the McLaren. The number 16 machine's not got very much space to go into, but somehow they make it through the car off. It's Nathan Healy. No, our commentators cursed him big time as people are avoiding, I think, a stationary car on the inside. Larkman, I think, is stuck. Hammond and Hardiek are dropping down the order, but I think that is just down to the sim. Yes, it is. Look, there we go. Right, first couple of corners done. And Toby Hardiek holds on to 2nd position. He got in front of Lewis Hammond and Richard White, and now he holds that place into the banking for the first time. Seemed pretty tidy. Or was it?
Yeah, absolutely did. I mean, for a moment, I was going to say for a moment, I thought we were going to get through the entire lap cleanly. And we definitely haven't. Powney is off the field, off the road.
Oh no!
Cars going, it's 1, 2. There's a front end gone, and there's still more cars piling in. Just at the back of this order, then it is just chaos. Pick the bones out of that one. We'll have to see a replay in a minute.
We'll see a replay now. Ryan Blackie was involved in it. He tries to avoid it as a McLaren goes into the back of him, and as he gets back on, he gets headbutted by another McLaren that, well, quite frankly, did not slow down to come through all of that. Who was that in that car? They were over on the right-hand side of shot. Porsche gets spun around. Rubino also ended up spinning in all of that. I think the main thing was Phil McConaughey. So he's in his McLaren. He comes to a stop. There's already drama up ahead, actually. McConaughey comes down the inside, and he's going to get maybe cut off here. No. Oh, he just has to come to a stop, basically. There was already a few cars off. I think Thiago Reiser was one of the drivers involved to begin with. Oh, he had his own issue, actually, before coming onto the banking. Let's see what happened here. Oh, 3 wide. Is that Sheesby down the inside as well? Where's that Sheesby making a move? I think he's actually also dropped further down as well as Dean. Oh, it didn't like that. There we go. It really didn't like that for a second there, sorry. Yeah, I think Sheesby made it 3 wide. Again, he's going for the hero move, and I don't know why he's doing that. There's no need for it, in all honesty. I'm not forming a thing against Dean here, but he's not. After such a dominating performance back at the Sachsenring, he's not painted a great picture tonight. You can see, look, Brandon's taking it nice and easy just to avoid all this. There's mayhem. That Aston Martin's scared. Yeah, same. The McLarens are everywhere.
It's that slow crawl out of the side vision that just scares you, isn't it? You know it's going to hit you in the door.
Yeah, it's always scary when you're just going about your day and an Aston Martin appears out your peripheral vision, isn't it? I hate when that happens. But Lewis Hammond, Lewis Hammond, he's going to be hoping that he's the Aston Martin that appears in Rob Mackay's peripheral vision right now. The bright purple Darkwing racing machine is all over the back of him. 0.3 of a second. He's gotten ahead of Toby Hardiak, Richard White and James Bostock so far. Although Richard White apparently has gained 20 places in class, but I don't quite think that's true. I think the class gains are a little bit broken from the grid positions and so on. And it is what it is. But look at this, for the lead, Hammond wants it. He's gone back down the inside. He got off the brakes again to let the car down the inside of Rob Mackay. And you said Rob was going to be clinging on at the front. And now he's clinging on to second. Great move by Lewis Hammond. Really good committed stuff. And look, down the inside, Richard White. He wants a piece of this in the Porsche. He's got James Bostock behind him. You've got to be a good boy. The boss is watching. But right now, we've got a mega battle on for the top positions. The top 11 are all Premier drivers as well, so they're all fighting for the same classes. Oh, that's great stuff by Craig Hewlett. I really liked that. Normally, I wouldn't like a move like that, but Bostock, he got out of it because he saw White slowing down. No, Craig. Oh, dearie me. Bostock slightly out of shape on the exit, and Hewlett is the one that loses out. Oh, that was a big, big shame, because I think that was a mega move. Great opportunism, just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great attempt to the inside there, but also even better defence really from Bostock to just keep it around the outside, keep his foot in it, and not allow that run to really take hold. I think in terms of the positions gained up 20, I think that's from the start after qualifying, because on my timing page he's down a couple of spots from where he started in this race, which makes more sense to me. But it is just a bit messy, isn't it? Either way, the game is always helpful in these kind of aspects, isn't it? Never confuses us, ever. Van Zeist is up 8 places on where he started in this one, up to P6, looking to try and move himself to the top 5, and he's only, well, less than 3 seconds off the lead here, and clearly the fastest driver in that group.
Yeah, he certainly is one of the drivers to keep an eye on, is Mr. Van Zeist, and I'm just looking to see... Andre Muntian finds himself in a bit of an Evo sandwich here, because he and Mr. Vivas, and now... No, not Thiago Reiser. Where's Thiago Reiser in all of this? Oh no, I'm looking a bit too far up here, my apologies. But we've got a couple of the Premier drivers stuck amongst the Evo drivers in the midfield. There's a really nasty mix of them. Danny Weir still leads in the Evo class, but a lot of his competitors are having to make it through Premier and Evo drivers all in one big mix. And it's certainly a difficult one to do as, oh no, the boss man, Mr. Bostock, is off and around in the corner where there was contact a lap ago, and it was the other car going around.
It was, and everyone's falling by the wayside a little bit at the moment, aren't they? James Bostock, let's see the moment. Oh, it's just a bit of a tap, isn't it? And then he's sideways in the middle of the road. How does nobody hit him there? That's the most impressive thing to me, how he wasn't hit. Oh, Dogan nearly reversed it into a meatball flag, but luckily, I think it did out of all and got going again. Just sadly, going to be a little bit further down the field than the other ones would have been.
Yeah, indeed. It's certainly intriguing the fact that he managed to survive that so cleanly. The only car that clipped him was actually his teammate on the way through. But it is what it is. It's what you get, isn't it? It happens. But right now, Lewis Hammond leads this race by 6/10. Rob Mackay, he was all over the back of him, but now he's under pressure from Toby Hardiek, and well, he's getting a push actually from Toby. He's giving him a shove down the start-finish straight just to try and help him out a little bit. Side by side here as well between Simon Clifton and the McLaren of Scott Kostrick on the outside line. Down the inside goes Robin Aston as well. Rob's already fed up of looking at the back of that Mercedes. He's got to look at it a bit longer as Kostrick, he doesn't want to leave all the room in the world, does he? Look at that, Robin having to lift out of that one as well. He's clearly scared of the McLaren.
Yeah, doesn't want to get himself involved at all. With a little bit of argy-bargy outside line. Joshua Downing has the inside line. Good defence at the moment, it seems. From the man currently sitting in P2 in that Evo class, and putting Danny Weir under far more pressure than he was under in race 1. Through goes Lubrook, though. I think, excuse me, goodness me. I think that's to be expected with the pace that we've seen from John over the course of the evening so far. But Josh, we're doing a fantastic job to keep Danny Weir honest. And if Webman and Lubrook can maybe ruffle a couple of Danny's feathers, then we could be seeing an Evo battle for the lead we've not seen for the majority of the night so far. Yeah,
I'm intrigued by this fight. There's a lot of them all in a big train here. 7 cars in one big run. The lead battle is well and truly on, though. Here's a look at this, because Lewis Hammond is back side by side with Rob Mackay again. It seems like Rob is the sort of reverse Newton's cradle in all this. Rather than it be the balls on the outside that are bouncing everywhere, he's the one in the middle bouncing between these two. They've all had to slow down a lot, though, as Lewis Hammond has overdone it at the chicane. Looks like Rob Mackay may get a better run. No, Lewis tries to go up the bank in a little bit to get a slight slingshot back down. And now, look, Rob using the slipstream, but just going around the outside, it makes you feel absolutely helpless. Look who's arrived on the scene, though. It's Victor Van Zijst, race 1 winner, going for the overall win here.
Overtaken 1. Is he going to be able to get 2 and 3?
Oh, don't do it, Victor.
Second through that Le Mans chicane. He's not going to find that outside line. But is that deep from Hammond? It looks a little bit deep. Oh, he gets it stopped onto the apex. Inside line now for Victor. He's just ducking and diving whichever way it's going to suit him the best. Through 2, through 3. And that's just going to be a drop. As simple as it is. There was no one to support that at all. And in the end, just the car going underneath them. Rob Mackay, he was in the lead of the race, but he's not anymore. He just disappeared underneath him, tried to get on the power too early maybe.
Yeah, just I think as he clipped that curb, it just flicked to the right, didn't it? There, just bounces and away he goes. Wow, that happened so quickly. Usually over a curb like that, you hear the revs rise a little bit. Oh, look, there's a picture of Lewis Hammond there. But you hear the revs rise for a minute, but it's just gone. It digs the front right in as well. I hope there was no cars coming the other way, because that would have been absolutely terrifying. But Rob's obviously got to give a lot back there, surely. He leads the race by 1.7 seconds, but for how long?
Got a black flag. That'll be why he's pushing on.
Ah, yeah.
Because he'll have a drive-through penalty, which is devastating, really. I mean, he did try and use that Mario Kart-esque shortcut, but the game's not going to allow you to do that here. It's just unfortunate because it wasn't. I guess it was his fault in terms of that he dropped the car, but at the same time, not his fault that he caught the car and appeared on the other side of the circuit. So unlucky really that he will have to serve that now. It's going to give Hammond that lead back, but can he even hold that? Because Van Zijst is right there and ready to go.
Yeah, I think Victor's going to be looking at 2 race wins in one night. I don't know where Lewis was going, but he's lost a lot of ground by doing that. Oh wow, I'm not quite sure who the time consumer is or who he expects me to know he is, but he said that we had to pull the car over. He snapped the pedal plate on his brake clean off. Goodness me. How big are your feet?
Is he driving a BMW by chance?
I hope he was, just so there's one less on the track. And I own a BMW in real life and all, so it takes a lot for me to say that. But Victor Van Zijst, well, you can see what's happening for yourselves. He's going for the lead. Whoa, big commitment by Hammond. Fair play. We just need a soundbite now of Jeremy Clarkson shouting Hammond, don't we? That's all we need. But what a fantastic, fantastic fight we've got going between these two. Victor Van Zijst on the outside, Lewis Hammond down the inside. That Aston will not budge. He will not move. But Victor's going to get a great run here now, surely, as they come out of the left-hander. It's Mark Kent in one of the Lamborghinis now. I am actually upset about that because now there's one less Lamborghini. It's because the Italians, it was a Friday afternoon car. They tried to build it really quickly. Scott Kostrick, he's going to be into the pit lane very quickly, unfortunately. He too has an black flag. For some reason, Dean Sheesby, well, his race evening has known no end of chaos. He's had an accident here. What on earth were you doing, Dean? Oh my word! Great job by the McLaren. Yeah. Great job. I don't know where Dean was going there. I think he might have clipped the grass, on the right-hand side. He went ahead of Matthew Hunter as a result, but yeah, let's have a look. Matt was going a bit slower. He goes to go down the inside, clips the grass. Yeah, it just doesn't slow down. I don't think there was a gap big enough for him to go in anyway, but yeah, he seemed to think there was, and he went for it. Unfortunately, it's tarnished what was an incredible dominance at the Sachsenring, actually, because Dean started his championship in such epic form, and tonight it's just completely crumbled. Andrew Chell said he deselected his fast repair. That's a big shame. Big shame, mate. Sorry to hear it. There's quite a lot of cars out the race, actually, right now, Darren.
Yeah, there are looking at that timing page. There's a few that are just stuck in pit lane. We've got Nathan Healy, who's the lap down after the early incident. Wayne Hoffman, who is as well. Phil McConaughey's a lap down. Kent Rubin and Curler are all not racing with us, as is Chell and Chris Petty at the moment. So a lot coming on. Here's Toby Hardiak. And what's happened to him? Oh, was he assisted, or was it just a drop of the rear end in towards that Le Mans chicane? And once that was going to start to go, he was never going to get that back. And that 113 is now. Is it back in the pit lane? It's not back in the pit lane.
No, he carried on after that. He carried on, drove in, I think. I can tell you, he's definitely dropped something there, and it's not the rear end of the car. That is a big hit into the barrier. It stops very suddenly as well. Not what he would have wanted. Robin Aston, 4th place for him at the moment. He's having quite a tidy race. He's having a very tidy start to the season, isn't he? We're just about to hit the halfway point. Now, this race has been opposite to the other one. This feels like it's gone really quickly. And that's not to say the other one wasn't entertaining. It was a very entertaining race, but it just seemed like the timer was at half speed. Whereas this one, it's like double speed. We're nearly halfway through.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just disappearing in front of our eyes. Victor Van Zijst is disappearing in front of Hammond at the moment, and he's having to try and deal with Clifton around the outside. Let's see, can he tiptoe all the way around? It's got to be so precise, but it's not going to work at this time, by. And I mean, if Victor can hold on to this, could we call this a Victor Van Heist of the points? Is that acceptable?
I like that. I like that a lot. No. Well, you could say twice tonight he's been the victor. That was the easier one.
Oh, that's to be fair, that was it was so clearly in my face that I just missed it.
Yeah, that just sums up my life. But not a bad night at all for him. But still halfway through this race, still half of it left to go. Danny Weir, well, he's not been too weary, has he? I think you came out with that one, didn't you, last night? No. What was it you said last night? No, he was hitting the Weir.
He was hitting the Weir. Yeah,
hitting the Weir. Well, I mean, you could say if he lets one car overtake, it's not the floodgates opening, it's him sorting out the Weir. Oh, Lord. He's saying, right, I'll move over, and Barry's saying, when, man? Sorry.
All right, okay. I think we're stepping over that.
Yeah. You can't force it too much, Chaz, come on. Right, Thiago Reiser. Don't say it. He's going up the order. He's going up the order. You get it? Yeah? Riser? Yeah? Okay.
Rising.
Into the chicane. It's so terrifying, that chicane. You know what? It'd probably be safer if they put a minefield on the inside of it. It's just absolutely terrifying to go over that in these cars. I heard that they were making the change, and then when they applied it, I tried it in a couple of cars, and it is like driving over an IED. It's just horrible. The front end of the car just lifts off, you get nothing at all, and then by the time it bounces back down, especially in GT3 cars, it is just around. It's really, really not nice, to say the least. I must say, Thomas Weston, he had a slowdown penalty on this lap, but he set a purple sector 2 on this lap, and that is only about 17 seconds, so his second sector was absolutely rapid, was Tom Weston, but unfortunately since then his lap fell apart a little bit, and he's still trying to serve that slowdown penalty. It's not really working out for him right now. John Treen in this white Mustang, well, let him get out of this corner. Yeah, he's still in the position he started. He is the only car in the field. Oh no, he's not. Martin Brandon in the massive Mackerel is in his starting position as well. But only 2 out of the, 54 cars we've got on track. Shows you just how wild this race has been so far.
Yeah, it's just been one of those ones where it's all happened really quickly, it feels. You know, there's been so much that has happened at the front of both fields, and yet it's still question marks in the air as to who's going to finish, at least on the podiums in these classes. That the race goes through quite quickly because the drivers are all of a sudden looking around, trying to work out where they are in the race, and it's constantly changing. And then by the time they finally get settled, you look up at the time and there's only 12 minutes to go. And there's only a handful of laps, and you've got to get a move on with where you are anyway. So yeah, difficult to really pick out exactly where the right place to be is in some of these trains, because, you know, being behind can be advantageous for the final couple of laps. Being in front can just give you that confidence and the chance to pull away. But it's so tricky, isn't it?
It's very, very tricky. We're going to crack on and go back to Graham Vivers, who's gained 17 places in this race so far. He's chasing down Thiago Reiser. Danny Weir just in front of them. Danny he has actually swapped around with his DXT Camar teammate in the McLaren, which is Barry Wenman. But it just gives him a decent slipstream to sit in. He's got only 2 cars before it gets to Joshua Downing and Jan Nage, but it will be a repeat podium, actually, if these 3 finish where they are in the Evo class. We've unfortunately, after I mentioned Pete Piver going quickly before, he's had an off now, Darren.
He has, and let's see it now. The Brazilian is... Oh, that'll be what it is. He's been hit, basically. I mean, yes, he's turned in into the chicane. Yes, he's turned in, but at the same time, if you are a nose alongside and the inside into that corner, you've just got to back out. It's never going to work out.
No, I don't get why people do it.
Yeah, it's far too dangerous, and it always goes wrong.
Yeah. Unless you've got a major overlap and like an insane run on them, if you're not past them before the braking zone, like you say, just back out. There's no point committing to it. It's just not going to work. Nice little advert there for the website on the back of the Phoenix Mercedes. Danny Weir in that Porsche. Look at the speed of it. This is what I mean. Look, Danny had a good run, fully alongside. Nice. Great example, great timing. Cheers, boys. Sort of don't want John Treen to gain this position in a way, because it'll mean that he's no longer in the position he started this race. He's gained 11 spots in class, apparently, without moving a single one in the race. I don't think that quite makes sense. He's got Rob Gregg. Oh, it makes me hungry. Rob Gregg behind him, and then Dave Collier. He's hoping to collar him, I think. But Dave had a bit of a tough time in qualifying back at the Sachsenring. I remember him going off the circuit a couple of times in the same corner. Right now, though, he's going to get some really tasty slipstream from the cars in front.
He is, and it's delightful to pick it up down this part of the track. You just gain and gain and gain. A little bit more when you're the only car in the train, of course, but you can just gain up to those cars in front, and it just provides a little bit more bunch racing in towards the opening part of the infield section. Dave's just going to try and pick his way through. There is that car going slightly wider in front of Pilcher, and if Pilcher has a bit of a moment, then it's going to open the door, or if there's a bit of a moment there for Greg, it's also going to open the door, and through comes Dave Collier. Good opportunistic move from him.
I'm sorry, I cut away from that just as something happened to look at the Mustang behind us. Ooh, scary. Very scary indeed. There's been another accident for Dean Sheesby. Dean has had another moment in this Absolute roller coaster of a race. He's clipped the curb, clipped the other one, and around it goes. And oh, he's trying to get it. Oh, stopped. Oh no. Oh no. That was not grand. He did the right thing because he was closer to the inside line. It probably would have been easier for people to go around the outside of him. But look, oh, I don't know actually. Oh, the Aston just clips him, and then he tries to go that way. Yeah, I think I'd have done the same as Dean there. I moved forward thinking they can go behind me. And unfortunately, his race is now at an end. A very wild night of racing. This isn't BBC Radio 2, but we are going to do a shout-out. Joshua Downing getting a little mention. Berry Racing in the chat saying this is Josh's highest league finish so far ever. Second in class, 10th overall. Hats off, Josh. He's doing a wonderful job.
Don't say it yet. We've been on enough of these broadcasts to know that if you tell us that with 10 minutes to go, there's no guarantee it'll hold. I'm hoping it does, but I don't want it to be jinxed.
Well, what I'm doing here, Dara, is it's now immortalised forever. So if something happens, it's Berry Racing's fault.
There we go.
So,
that's a good point.
You see, what I'm doing is providing evidence live, Your Honour. So if something goes wrong now, Berry Racing, it's all on you. Clearly they know, Josh, so yeah, you can have that discussion after. Lewis Hammond is not chasing that Porsche for position, which is equally more frustrating because it's not really moving out of the way. They are not obliged to move out of the way. They don't have to sort of dive sideways or anything, but you'd maybe do a bit more than that to get out of the way. Robin Aston now all over the back of Lewis Hammond. Just look at the Porsche. They don't even need the slipstream. It's so fast, he says.
Yeah. It's close to going to be though, side by side. Outside line, you don't really want to be there. When you're not exactly in front, Aston, does he back out? He does. He's going to get a beautiful line through here. But maybe not. Maybe haven't got a good enough run through there. I thought it was going to be a great exit for Robin Aston. But
did you mean the Aston or Aston?
Yeah, it's a good point actually. I meant Robin Aston behind the Aston.
He's sparking an all look.
Yeah, we all know what Aston will. Sorry, Robin will be shouting it.
Hammond!
Hammond! You reversed into my sports lorry. Something along those lines.
That would be impressive in this race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could call the Porsche a sports lorry, I guess. It's quite big. They are quite large, are the GT3 cars. And again, it's not as big as the Aston. I do love the Aston, though, I must say. I think it's a fantastic-looking race car. This version isn't as pretty as the pre-facelift one at the front, but... Oh, don't put your nose in there. Well, fair play, Rob. But this version of the Aston, it just looks like a big RC car, I always say. It looks like the body's a bit too big for the wheels, but every bit of it's so chunky, and those wing end plates are absolutely massive as well. I love that. Every feature on that Aston is huge, and it makes a great noise, humongous backfire sounds on the upshifts. It's just a real monster of a car. Dave Collier, I said he was having trouble off the circuit at the Sachsenring. He's showing me, look, Chaz, I can do it here as well. Off he goes at the International Horseshoe. We've just had a bit of a change in an overall position here. Just if you look at Danny Weir running in 8th place. He's got Joshua Downing and Jan Nage now just behind. There's only 5.7 seconds between the entire top three. Intriguing. Graham Vivers has unfortunately retired from the race. He's had a big drama here, Darren.
He has indeed. Let's have a little bit of a nosy at what has happened and what's befallen Graham down in towards, is it the dog leg? It is the dog leg. Very rare. See someone lose it through there. And then he's collected the barrier on the left-hand side and he cannot turn right. That front left is completely gone.
Oh, that is, yeah, not tasty at all. Thiago Reiser. Oh, have you noticed what I've noticed?
The slow down.
John Ludbrook going into the chicane. Thiago Reiser gives him a bit of a nudge. That was not on, but who's that coming through? That's Danny Weir.
Oh no.
And that is a very broken right rear on Danny's car. He will not be too chuffed with that, to say the least. Not good.
Like it's a little bit harsh, but he's going to be weary of these situations, isn't he?
Yes.
No, I feel bad. I feel bad for making that joke in that circumstance, but that is not good.
No.
And Danny is going to be rightly aggrieved there, isn't he? Because he was on for a perfect night's worth of racing here. But yeah, I mean, taken away out of his hands, didn't he?
Yeah, that was horrible. Absolutely horrible, that, and awful rejoin. And, well, I suppose at the time there wasn't much could be done by John. He was frustrated as well because there was no need in that incident. Tiago put his nose where it shouldn't be. John didn't need to come over as far as he did, but he had to get to the corner at some point. I just wanted to highlight this man. In his Conflict Desert Storm coloured Porsche, Thomas Weston, well, he's just about to lose a place actually, but that would mean he's only gained 34 places in this race. What a shame. But Tom Weston's having an absolute delight out there tonight. Hussein Sarakadezla's been quiet tonight as well. He had a miserable race one, but he's gained 29 places in this race. But Tom Weston, he is currently the biggest mover in the field. He's got some pretty big cars around him. He's got John Treen there in the in the Mustang going through. And then ahead of that, he's got the BMW with David Pilcher. There's not a Mercedes in sight, so God knows why that word fell out of my mouth. But still, Thomas Weston having a great run. Speaking of a great run, looks like Lewis Hammond is now under attack from Barry Wenman. He wants that podium spot, does the McLaren driver.
He absolutely does, and we'll see if he can hold on to it in the final couple of laps. We are on to the penultimate lap of the race now, with Victor Van Zyst, again, the one who will find almost certainly the white flag first. But you see Hammond is all over the road in defence on Barry Wenman, and you could say it's a when not if Barry's going to have a go in these final two laps. But it won't be, will it be? Yes, it will be into the second horseshoe, because it's wide from Hammond. He tried to take the defensive line. He didn't even really need to, and it's opened the door now for Barry to try and walk it around the outside at turn 6 onto that oval. But he's not going to be able to find it there. It's just defensive line after defensive line right now for Lewis Hammond. And it's not going to work out this time. Up the inside comes Barry. That'll be P3.
Lovely move that by Barry. Very well done. Bang, and the Aston's gone, says Barry. Interesting how the cars are sparking though, and when they came towards us for a moment, I thought I saw it happening earlier. When the cars come towards us, watch when they downshift. It's almost like the flames and the pops and bangs are completely visible through the car from the front. That's brave, if not a little bit silly from Hammond to try and go through there. But there's a glitch where the backfire noises, or the little flames, are visible whether you're looking at the front of the car or the back. I thought I saw something weird earlier. But I mean, you can see it there from behind, obviously. But watch when they go into the first couple of corners, especially on this McLaren. Because don't forget, the exhauster at the back, near the top of the car. Just watch when they change down the gears. Obviously, we'll see it from behind here, but when the camera goes to the front.
Let's see.
Oh, typically they didn't pop and bang on the downshift then. See if there's any more from the Porsches here. Oh, hello. Wow, look at that missile. Flipping heck, John Ludbrook.
He just came from San Francisco to make that move. He was absolutely flying down the inside.
Robin Aston and Tiago Reiser are having a scrap. They keep swapping places as well. We need to go back to the battle for third, because the McLaren, running in third place now, is ahead of the Aston Martin of Lewis Hammond, and he's trying, but I don't think he's got the pace to get back in front. There, look, you can see, look at the McLaren. The pops and bangs are visible through the entire... iRacing, sort it out. Come on. You can do so many things so well. I remember working closely with Drew Adamson at iRacing, actually, on a few broadcasts and things, and even he used to say, the one thing I hate is our shadows. And I fully agreed with him, but things like that, come on. You can do better than that. Still, no one can do better than this man tonight by the look of it, Dara. Flipping heck. Get on Van Zyst level.
He's been imperious, isn't he? He got the fastest lap in qualifying, just pulled away at the front, and then just pulled away again. It's been absolutely stunning from him. And yeah, this is a real statement to take into the next few weeks, isn't it?
It absolutely is. 2 out of 2 tonight for the MJK SimRacing Porsche of Victor Van Zyst. What a great victory that is. And 2 second places on the trot for Simon Clifton as well. The Mercedes comes on strong for him here at Daytona, and it's a McLaren making it 3 different manufacturers on the podium. Barry Wenman. Well, it was a case of if, not when. No, the other way around. Jan Nash is going to take his first win of the season in the Evo class. Very well done to him. Great drive. Again, Mercedes doing well. Josh Downing. There we go. There he gets his best result in Sim Racing Leagues. Very well done to Josh, and well done to his spotter for not mucking it up. Matt Stace, yes! I wanted this car to get a result. With that livery on it, it's got to get a result, hasn't it? If your parents didn't give you that, Matt, when you were a kid, they didn't love you. It's as simple as that. But Matt Stace gets a result. 3rd place in class for him. And very, very well done. Mercedes actually working really nicely around here tonight, it seems, Dara.
Yeah, going well actually, in a way that you maybe wouldn't necessarily expect. Yeah, it's not necessarily known to be the dominant car in a straight line, but it's gone very well indeed. And yeah, for Clifton and for Norwich particularly, they're going to be delighted, and Stace of course as well. 3 podium sitters in that race out of the 6 all in that Mercedes car.
Brilliant, brilliant racing night that. Very, very entertaining stuff here from Daytona. Everybody now slowing down on their in-laps, but, well, Victor Van Zijst, he's carrying on as if the race is still going. I think he wants to get some donuts in before the race ticks over. But brilliant, brilliant stuff. Just listen to it. What a noise. Love the sound of this Porsche. It's not quite the 911 RSR from the GTE days, but it makes an hell of a noise. In comes Victor Van Zijst into the pit lane, and we'll have a look at the results then of the second race of the evening. Victor Van Zijst wins only half the gap this time. What a shame. 6.5 seconds to Simon Clifton. Barry Wenman gets a podium ahead of Robin Aston. That's the first time he's finished off the podium this season. I know there's only been 3 races, but still. Lewis Hammond finishes in 5th place ahead of Thiago Reiser. James Bostock, again, another under-the-radar race for him. John Ludbrook, well, he's on his way back to San Francisco now, ahead of Jordan Maymar and Thomas Weston. What a drive that is by Weston, by the way. He came all the way through the field into 13th place overall. 36 places gained. What a drive. John Treen was next up in the Mustang ahead of Steve Hughes, also in a Mustang. Then it was Ryan Blackie and Jan Ostberg. Grant Miller 15th ahead of Richard White and Hussein Sarakadesla. Andrew Fellows was in 18th place. James Pallett and Andrew Larkman complete the top 20. Then it was Robin Pornier ahead of Robert Savage, and then the last 2 cars on the lead lap were Rob Mackay and Craig Hewlett. Graham Vivers was out of the race with that big damage. Nathan Healy and Dwayne Hoffman, the 2 full tilt cars, both out of the race. Phil McConaughey also out in 28th place. Dean Sheesby having a very, very busy night, but not in the best of ways. He finishes 29th. Pete Piver, 30th in class. Andre Muntian also out of the race. So too Scott Kostrick, Toby Hardiak, Mark Kent, Steve Rubino and Dennis Collar. Quite busy actually, wasn't it, Dara, in terms of the attrition there? A lot of cars out of the race.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of keen drivers early on to get going in that second race. Knew that there wasn't anything to race for in terms of, this result wasn't going to affect anything after tonight. They weren't, waiting on some kind of, reverse grid as we saw in the opening race, so they could go for it at the start of race 2 in a way that they couldn't in race 1. And I think we kind of got a bit of a hangover from that, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have the results in the Evo class, if you'd like to go ahead, sir.
Indeed, Jan Noj was in the end who won the race, the Swedish driver, winning by a good 4 seconds in the end. Not the most comfortable gap that we saw after Danny with half a minute of an advantage, but still, good win for him ahead of Joshua Downing after, as we've heard, his best result in league racing. And Matt Stace with the gorgeous livery in P3. David Pilcher and Dave Collier, the 2 namesakes, only 4 tenths apart in 4th and in 5th, with Michael Rhodes not a long way behind them in 6th. Gareth Newton and Stuart Rice were inside half a minute inside the top 8, with Rob Gregg and Matthew Hunter rounding out the top 10. It was just Paul Matthew, the other driver, within a minute of the race win, and Danny Weir, after the contact that was not his fault down at the bus stop, finishing down in P12 in what could have been a double race winning evening. Denny Plurger, Jordan Jones and Martin Brandon inside the top 15, and the mid drivers who were unlikely to score points: James Fraser, Andy Chell, Shane Cotton and Chris Petty running out the 19 drivers in the class.
Thank you very much, Dara. We'll go back in time and have a little scoot through some slow motion footage of the cars making their way around, and we will be able to have a chat with some of the drivers in just a moment and see what their thoughts are on tonight's racing. Luckily, we get chance to speak to Mr. Barry Wenman, who's going to join us in the commentary box. Barry, first off, congratulations on such a solid result in that one. Looked like you had to work quite hard for that one, mate. It didn't look easy at all.
Yeah, not going to lie, the McLaren felt a bit underpowered around here. Felt like at times I was driving a bin truck. But, the old children's story of the tortoise and the hare. while the hares are all getting in squabbles and knocking each other off, just quietly went about my business. And a podium, very, very happy with that. I had to pull the move on Hammond towards the end of the race. But other than that, I felt at the whim to all the Porsches.
I was going to say the Porsche is certainly the car to beat round here tonight, but talk us through that move in the final few laps against Hammond, because you knew you had to make it, but did you have a plan of when that was going to come, or was it just a case of see what he's up to?
Well, I think Rob had already... I was in chat with Discord with Rob, and he'd already battled with him early in the race, so he was like, he's going to defend hard, don't let him have the inside. So, I just went for the inside turn one and made it stick first time, got the run, which was surprising in the McLaren. But, very happy.
Cracking stuff. And obviously as the calendar goes on, we now move over into Europe once again, back to Portimao for the next round. Are you confident going there?
Yeah, no.
At least you're honest.
I mean, it's a fun track. I mean, if I put some practice in, I should go all right there. Just want to give a shout out to Hobo Danny Veer tonight. Danny Weir, he should have won that Evo class. So unfortunate.
Yeah, he was very unfortunate with that one. It was a horrible incident, and we certainly winced here in the commentary box. But before we let you go, Barry, is there anyone you'd like to give another quick shout out to?
Just the DXT boys again. Like Danny Weir had some credible pace, and I spent most of race one behind him, and then race two with him behind me. So, his pace is incredible, and all the DXT boys. Much calmer week this week.
Well, fair play to you, mate. Great result tonight, getting those big points on the board, and we look forward to seeing you at Portimao.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Well, Barry Wenman, like you say, it wasn't a case of if, but more when, and he did a wonderful, wonderful job with that one. We're going to move on to the next man in the room, though, Dara. A little bit more of a sore topic this time, if you'd like to take it away with Mr. Weir.
Yeah, welcome in, Danny. Let's start with the positives first. Race one, you won that by half a minute. There's 30 minutes in that race, and you gained a second per minute. I mean, incredible over the course of it. You must have been feeling great after that.
I genuinely was, because it's a track I love. It's the bus stop. The people are up. It's like Marmite. They're up and down on it. I love it. The new bus stop. It makes so much more sense to me. But yeah, it's a track I've always gelled with. It helps, I think, doing Daytona as well. See, 24 we're doing this week as well. But yeah, no, it's a good track, and the Porsche just seems to fit with it today. And yeah, I was loving it. I said, couldn't get me out of the car today. I was on cloud 9 after the first race. Bit worried in the qualifying because I didn't do as good as I wanted to, because around here, obviously, it's heavy reliant on toes, and nothing was really lining up for me. I'd get it in the midsection of the track, where it's obviously all bends, so I'm losing time. And every time they get to the straight, they're either letting me go, entering the pits, or spinning themselves. So I was kind of getting the rough end of the deal. But no, very happy with that. I was very happy with race one.
But I mean, coming into race two, you clearly had that pace. I guess maybe just the slight detail that we have to bring in is that you may have been taken out of the bus stop chicane.
Was there contact? I didn't even know.
Dampens the mood a little bit, but I mean, even so, again, a really good pace. There must be good moments from that second race that you can take through into the next few weeks.
No, genuinely, there was loads of good moments from that. It was nice being able to control the race, because I felt like the race was under my control massively, to the point where, as Barry would say, I was doing side quests and helping him pulling him along and getting him closer to having some sort of attack and getting out of his way, and then defending cars behind him. So yeah, up until lap 14, it was it was brilliant. I was loving it, and just a shame that people don't hold brakes when they have an incident. And it was obviously went into a state of rage after that, and I couldn't work out why I weren't moving anywhere. My axle was so badly bent, it was upside down. So when I was turning left, it was going right, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And I worked out that I have to drive upside down now until I get back to the pits.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No.
It's not fun at all. But I mean, you got to the end, that's the main thing. Looking forward to next week. Portimao is where we're going to be. Chances of rain is up as well. Is that a combination you're looking forward to, or?
I don't mind. No, I don't mind rain. I don't mind Portimao. I tend to do a little bit better in the rain. I think the Porsche helps being so bottom heavy. it kind of it grips up and grounds very nicely, especially in wet conditions. So as long provided I can find the right line, but we'll see how we get on. But I'm not going to start waxing lyrical about me being the contender for this. Like, obviously this was a good track for me, so it might be a track, Pacific track that I'm really good at. But no, I'm looking forward to Portimao. I'm looking forward to a bit of rain.
Yeah, I think we are as well. But thanks, Danny. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the screen?
Massive shout out to John Ludbrook. Couldn't be here without him. The sarcasm was in there somewhere. No, genuinely big shout out to to Rob, all the guys from DXT. Although I lost my head in that, they very quickly gathered me up. So yeah, Rob and Barry, Danny, all the guys from the A split as well. But yeah, massive shout out to DXT, and thanks to you guys for commentating. I'm glad Chaz got to see me actually win a race for once, and rather than being at the back of a grid.
There's always next time, Danny. You don't count your
It's always
chickens.
next time. It's always next time.
But thanks for joining us, Danny. Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Cheers. Oh, there we go. Danny Weir. Yeah, he had not the worst night last night in Formula CDM, but yeah, he certainly returned to form in the GT3s here this evening. Wondering who we grab next, to be fair. We've spoken to Wenman, we've spoken to Danny Weir. Andy Chell, unfortunately, had to retire from the second race in the Quatermass car. There's a few other drivers down there that didn't quite have the night go their way, but you know what? We will bring in Mr. Chell halfway through his conversation. Sorry, sir. In the Quatermass car, it's not a subtle car. We missed it in race 2. What happened?
I got a lot of damage from rejoining cars it wasn't ideal. Those are the best words to use, Jazz. To be fair, it wasn't ideal for me. So I got a bit of damage, and then I was drafting and racing Matt in his Aston, and I stepped to go round him, and the car just went no, and we were in the wall, then back down, and because I usually knock everything off before we start the race because it's only a 30-minute race, I'd accidentally knocked off the fast repair, so it got in and then went, you have 7 minutes of repair time. And it's like, oh,
yeah,
that's tonight done then.
That's not quite the fast repair you were wanting. We go to Portimao next time, though. Are you a little bit more confident there?
I mean, I was confident here, to be honest with you, matey. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, I really like Portimao. I've said this a few times. It really suits my driving style. I like fast tracks. There's just something about them that I just click with. So, yeah, I've done well at Portimao before. So, fingers crossed. We'll see a good result. We were just saying in the chat with the lads there in the green room, the cool down. It's all luck this season. There's some good judgment, but 95% of this is luck this time around. So
just survival instincts have to kick in.
Yeah. Just gotta pray to the gods and hope that they're smiling on me next week. So we'll see though. We'll see.
Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I think just give a shout out to Mike as well, my teammate. He's in Split A. He's had a rough night as well. Unfortunately, our rather distinctive car has been a bit too distinctive, I would say. People have killed us all. But yeah, just shout out to him as well. You know, at the end of the races where it's tough, that we dig in, we try and keep going. So yeah, big shout out to Mike.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, mate, and we'll hopefully see you at Portimao. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you soon.
There we go, Andy Chell. Not quite the night he would have wanted there, Dara, but to be fair, I think there's a few drivers out there that really didn't get their own way either, did they?
No, they didn't. And it wasn't the easiest night up and down the field, but again, earlier on in the season, we're only 2 rounds into a 10-race championship. Points are on the board already, but there's so much chance to gain some more over the next few weeks, aren't there?
Absolutely is. That is unfortunately all we have time for here tonight at Daytona in the SimRacing International GT3 Championship here on a Thursday night. Victor Van Zijs gets 2 from 2 here at Daytona and puts in a hell of a performance. But before you know it, we'll be back over the Atlantic at Portimao in Portugal. Do not go away. We'll be there very, very soon. Thanks once again to Dara. Thanks once again to all the drivers, everyone involved in the championship. We'll see you in a week. Good night, everyone.